a book in order to become a luxury influencer. My name is Lily Patrascu, and I'm a book publisher and personal branding coach and the founder of Brand for Speakers. And today we have Harry Sardinas, the founder of Speakers Are Leaders, a public speaking coach. And what's so amazing about today is that we are going to discover exactly how you too can go from ordinary entrepreneur to grow your brand, to start speaking worldwide, to becoming an actress or an actor as we have done, and to get so many different opportunities that perhaps you were never expecting to get. Now, let me hear from Harry Sardinas, who happens to be not only my business partner, but my life partner as well. And he was one of the very first people to benefit from becoming an author with my Brand for Speakers program.
Thank you so much, Lily, for inviting me. And like I have to say that I'm so grateful to you because I never knew that someone chubby, bald, is gonna have this amazing success that I have achieved. And this is just because of the book. I think that this was only for good-looking people, skinny and with hair. But I think that the book has opened a big door for me, and I'm very grateful that that you actually coached me and helped me to write this book that have bring me an enormous success and allowed me to build my global brand, Speakers and Leaders Worldwide.
Now, one amazing thing about Harry, and this could be some of you in the audience.
Amazing thing is about Harry touching her phone all the time. Yeah.
Now, one amazing thing about Harry is that he is an author who doesn't like to write, doesn't like to read, but he wanted to be an author, right? So this is one amazing, very funny thing about Harry.
Now, I like to speak though.
So you may know that there are...
Hey, Dave, you get from Facebook. He's saying that like it. Thank you so much. Dave, a minute ago, this is just starting. Go on.
Right. So one amazing thing about people in general is that there are people that prefer to learn in different ways. And for example, there are people that prefer to learn visually, others to learn in an auditory way, and others in writing, right? And that's why you'll find that there are people that really struggle to write a book because they simply hate the idea of writing.
That's me.
Right? So there are people like Harry that absolutely hate. However,
well, I write with mistakes in my own language, so imagine, yeah.
Yeah.
Writing is not my thing.
However, that does not...
I have 2 books though.
However, that does not mean that people like Harry don't have amazing knowledge, expertise, passions that thousands or even millions of people worldwide can benefit from, right? So what do you do when you are that kind of person that loves to learn in an auditory or in a visual way? You hire a ghostwriter, you hire a book coach, someone like me, that or a publisher that is able to guide you through the process in a way that some of the parts of the process of writing and publishing a book becomes outsourced, and then you only focus on what you do best, which is your knowledge and expertise. And then, for example, you can record different audios, you can record some videos with you explaining different things, and then that can be turned into a book, right?
Basically, if you don't know how to write, find someone who does.
Yes. So now, what is the benefit of actually doing that, right? A lot of people that I have come across are people that have amazing knowledge, expertise, and passions, and they've been doing what they're doing for a long, long time. Now, I have encountered a large number of people that, despite all of that, feel they are not good enough to write and publish a book. Or they may even think, well, someday, sometime, I'm going to write a book when I'm 50, when I'm 60. And the problem with that is that first, your audience cannot benefit from what you're doing. Secondly, you are missing out in terms of authority, and you are missing out in terms of the immense opportunities that a book can open. Now, I would like to ask Harry, what would you say was the very first massive opportunity that you got thanks to being an author? And I know there are many, but just choose one to start.
I think that the one of the biggest massive opportunity that I got out of being an author is that I have inspired millions of people worldwide how to speak in public more effectively, how to attract more business, and I actually managed to build a global brand. Speakers are leaders, and this is all thanks to this book. That actually you can see this price here is actually the book is in the library of Eason, which is the one of the largest library in bookstore in
it's a bookstore,
Ireland.
Not a library.
Yeah, so one of the largest bookstores in Ireland. But the whole point is that number one, speakers and leaders become a worldwide phenomenon success, and I fulfilled my dream. My dream was always to speak in front of millions of people and to help them to find their voice. I always said, speakers and leaders, your voice can transform the world. You have a voice and you can change the world. And the book gave me that authority and that framework where I was able to build a global brand. I have to thank Lily for that, because this book has been written with a certain strategy where it has a system, and that system became my main asset that has been financially very rewarding. So we had sold more than £100,000 in tickets for speakers and leaders worldwide in different countries. And this is a workshop that has been done based on this book. It's actually, this book has a system inside. The name is Amistad, and inside that system is where we created the workshop Speakers and Leaders. And today, this workshop, the minimum ticket in order to go inside in our website is £2,000. So in order to attend the Speakers and Leaders today is £2,000, £3,000, or £5,000 if you want to purchase the ticket from our website, speakersandleaders.co.uk. You can get the tickets right now. The next Speakers and Leaders will be 26 and 27 of November 2022. So how this book allowed me to not only speak in front of millions of people worldwide, but also deliver an international workshop, Speakers and Leaders, that has helped thousands of people, and also has helped us financially also to live in the house that I live today, with the swimming pool, and in the central London, the house of my dreams. So what can I say? The book also has given more things. Like last week, I said to Lily, no more podcasts, no more interviews, because because of the book, every single week we have 2-3 invitations to podcasts, to interviews. Could be in the TV, could be in the media, could be for a podcast. And we have more TV and podcast interviews offers that we can actually handle. And this is also thanks to the book.
Okay, very good. But so this was one of the major opportunities that you got, right? But tell me about the very first massive opportunity where you spoke at the National Achievers Congress in front of 2,000 people, and where the headline speakers were Tony Robbins and Kevin Green and JT Fox and many other speakers like that. So tell me about how did that happen, and how did you get that opportunity?
Yeah, this opportunity, I got it as a result of the first book, and I was invited to speak on stage about the first book that I have, Climb Big Big Man. And I happened to be that in that conference where I spoke at about my book, the headlines speaker was Tony Robbins, and it was Eddie the Eagle, that they make a movie about his life. It was JT Fox, Kevin Green, basically the greatest speakers of the world. They were actually at that event, which I spoke at. It was more than 2,000 people, and it was the platform for Success Resources, the bigger event company in the planet, and that led for us to actually work hand to hand with Richard Tan in a new company that he was opening back then, New Tycoon, and we have an amazing opportunity to be part of this company and to actually promote also our courses, Brand for Speakers, and speakers and leaders were actually listed among the world class courses just because of that only event.
Very good. So how would you say that you went from being a property entrepreneur to then moving on to being a public speaking coach and leadership coach and empowerment coach? And how did you go on to be, building this massive business around speakers and leaders?
Yeah.
And then how did you manage to become an actor as well? So tell us about that journey of how you kind of mushroomed into all these different things and different opportunities.
Okay.
So how did it all kind of start from property entrepreneur, public speaking coach, and empowerment coach?
Okay, thank you very much, Isaac Otin. I love to watch you people so much. Due to put a network here in Uganda, I can't. Okay, so we wish you to have better network so you can watch us. We're sorry about the low speed in Uganda. Soon it's gonna be fast. Maybe later on, try again. So yes, that I turned my life from property entrepreneur to an international speaker and public speaking coach, and I think that the book was the main reason for that because it put me in the map. I the first time that I spoke on the stage, I was invited to speak about my book, and the following time that I always spoke at the stage is based on the second book that I had, Speakers and Leaders. So without the book, nothing actually had moved in my career. My first book, Climbing Big Bang, was given to my property clients. I was giving them as a gift, and this allowed them, the clients, to stay longer in the rooms, to pay more for the rooms, and it was a touch of appreciation that I signed. I used to give them the book away and to sign, and this literally made me hundreds of thousands of pounds. Why? Because once I gave the book to the clients, they decide to stay in the room longer, and they have this customer appreciation. On the same way to the landlords for the property, the same thing, right? When the landlord, we are negotiating the price about the property, and I said, please don't increase the price. They say, Harry, we have to increase your price. Then we go there, we give them the book, we sign the book. I said, shall I sign it for you or for your son? And after this happens, then the landlord never increased me the price. Oh, we have someone from Russia also joining us. Thank you so much. Someone from Russia, yeah. And so basically, the book, in terms of the property business, help the business to achieve to get more landlords and to but also to the tenants to stay longer.
To retain the exactly. Tenants in the property, right?
Exactly.
Very good. So then how did you go from being a property entrepreneur to turning into a public speaking coach? How did you do that?
Well, the process was, the first thing that I did is I decided to write the second book. Like, I think that I wanted to move from property to coaching, to leadership, to teach people how to speak in public, and still I need to start all over again. So what is the first step? I will write this book, Speakers and Leaders, and this book became the backbone of my business. Actually, it's a business on a box, because inside this book there is a system. The system is the asset. Inside that asset, we deliver the workshop, and it has become my main business since then. I make a living out of Speakers and Leaders, basically, and by teaching again and again worldwide the content that is and the systems that they are in this book.
And what did you discover from working with me? What did you discover about creating a book? Was it an easy process? Was it a difficult process? Was it a hands-free process? How was the process from, let's say, thinking about, okay, I want to do this book, to let's have it out, or how was the process
I
of
think
doing
that
it?
I think that the most important thing that I find working with you is that the insurance to get it right, right? I think that people, what I discovered out of this is that this is not just a book. This is a branding exercise, and we're building with this. It's a business, and a business without a brand is nothing. So they are really reinforce this brand as speakers and leaders, right? I put the name, but you have a specialist to share and to tell you that go forward with the brand, go forward with the name. This name is gonna work. Despite a lot of famous people told me this brand is not gonna work, Lily told me go for it. I like it, and the brand is gonna be fantastic. So Lily reinforced the brand, and Speakers Ideas become not only my book, it become the tagline for everything that I do. So Lily created that brand for me. Lily created the systems inside this book that today we monetize again and again and again, and validate the system with the right structure, so the people can digest the content. And thank you, Isaac. Isaac is sharing the broadcast today. Thank you so much for sharing the broadcast.
So, in terms of the name, actually, Speakers are Leaders, what is so amazing about this name? Like, how are you leveraging it? Are you turning it into different products and different things? How are you leveraging it? What makes it different compared to a normal book? Let's say I know the myth about this and that, or so what makes this name so good in terms of being able to leverage it in different ways, or what makes this name so good as a brand?
What it makes this name so good as a brand is that it's something that Lily is always telling me, right? That the brand had to focus always on the end result, right? And I'm a public speaking, an empowerment coach, and a leadership coach, right? This is what I do. This is the tool, right? But the end result is when they apply what my strategies, when they apply my coaching, then they become speakers and they become leaders. So this is more than a book, is a business. And the big difference between a book and a business is that the book, you can sell it in the bookstores like this one, $9.99, and you have to sell lots in order to make out of this. But when you build a brand and you build a business where the book is the core center of the authority, right? Because at the end of the day, the people that want access to me, the cheapest way that they can have access is to buy in the book. But then we have the workshop, then we have the one-to-one, then we have people flying, paying us and doing workshop for 3-4 people, paying us £10,000 the day, right? Why? Is because the brand that this book represents is have positioned myself into an authority in a field, and that position as an authority in the field has enabled me to charge premium prices for products and services that we offering today. Today, I have a product for £250,000 that actually Lily designed.
It is about to be launched.
It's about to be launched. Designed by Lily, also based in some of the principles that are in this book. So it goes on and on and on. What can you do when you have the right? But the most important thing, I think, Lily, the biggest benefit that I found working with you is that I have next to me, I always tell her, one of the 5 most powerful brand strategies in the planet, in my opinion, right? Because working with Lily is like one-stop shop. When it comes to branding, you find people that are expert in branding, but they are expert in one area of branding, brand awareness, brand retention, the message, this and that. But when you have a branding specialist like Lily, it's like one in the book. I don't know how you feel that, but until it's not right, you don't feel it. But once it's right, then and I think you have proved that with all the authors that you have brand and how successfully they're doing in their career. So I'm very grateful that you encouraged me to go ahead with this brand. and the results have been fantastic worldwide.
Now, another amazing thing is actually two things. One is, what did I advise you, for example, regarding the colors, right? So your previous publisher, Jerry Robert, he already set the colors for your first book, right?
I set them.
Oh, you set them in collaboration with him, right? And the colors were gold, purple, gold and purple, right? Because this was the color that you really liked, and you thought, well, this goes really well in terms of creating that feeling of luxury and a royal feeling, right? And okay, so what advice did you get from me regarding building that in social media and everything? Because I don't know if you remember, but when we met, you had, for example, the social media that was full of pictures of party, of you doing lots of parties with, different funny hats, and with your brother, and even actually your own social media profile picture in Facebook had a picture of you with your brother, which, for people who don't know you, they might think that you're gay, or they might think that, you're very close to someone and they don't know, so it can lead to a lot of confusion, right?
Carmen, I like it. Carmen, thank you for watching us. Thank you so much.
So the question is, what have you discovered in terms of like the general image? Why is it important to actually have a certain image? And what advice did you get from me regarding the image in terms of social media, in terms of colors, and in terms of the general, how should your image look like?
Yeah, I think that the job that you have done with the visual identity of the speakers and leaders over all social media has been fantastic, to the point that one of my Facebook accounts has been closed, right? So we have to actually create a brand new accounts that reflects the brand and the visual identity that is consistent with this book. It's consistent with this book. It's consistent with the brochures that we do. These are the brochures that we have for our business, and I think that visual identity has created an amazing impact in my social media, to the point that now I have 2 million followers in Facebook, and around 12,000 in LinkedIn. And give or take, today we are very close to get 3,000 in YouTube, right? But if you go across all our social media channels, you're gonna find this purple, you're gonna find this gold, you're going to find the same guideline, you're gonna find my clothes that I wear is also purple and gold all the time, and all this has been advised by you. And I think that at the beginning I was reluctant to dress in purple all the time, but it does work. People are actually it's making me memorable, and the people say, oh, Harry's coming, is very colorful, this and that. But again and again, I make a living out of my personal brand. We have our personal brand is who we are, is what we represent, and everybody see that Harry Purple Speakers and Leaders, your voice can change the world, can transform the world, is my motto. And it's easily recognized. Everybody, not only in London but worldwide, are aware of what I do and what I represent, and make me more memorable. And this is always thanks to your advice, to your guidance. And I have to congratulate you for a fantastic job in the visual identity of all the social media platforms for speakers and leaders.
Right. So would you
agree, Sardinas,
would you agree that what we gradually did for you and your image is, first we established what colors you should wear all of the time, right? And it's not just the color should be a certain way, but also the quality of the clothes should be a certain way. Because what was the intention? The intention was to create a new persona of you as a luxury influencer. And of course, we didn't do that immediately. We did it gradually. But what we did do is that we established, okay, these are the colors that you're going to wear.
From nothing to a Rolls Royce, right?
Yeah. So because the whole idea is, how do you turn
someone like me into a Rolls Royce?
How do you turn...
Impossible, yeah.
Okay. How do you turn someone who looks maybe like a second-hand Volkswagen into...
Me, second, yeah. Second Volkswagen, yeah. Disposable Volkswagen, yeah.
Into a Rolls Royce. And how do you do that in the quickest and the fastest, in the best way possible, in a way that you are memorable, in a way that you are authentic and you are in line with what you actually like to wear, and at the same time you create that impact that impact that is lasting for people, right? Because the very first, for example, for your very first book, you had, Climbing Big Ben, you went on stage, it was like for a couple of minutes, and you talked about your book. And what happened is there was this massive impact, right, in front of 2,000 people at the National Achievers Congress. And because you went on stage and you were wearing, your brand colors, and you were, your book was, in your brand colors. And then for years to come after that, people were saying hello to you on the street, and sometimes you didn't know them, but they knew you.
Time to time I'm walking on the street that the people tell me, Harry, you changed my life. I said, how come you remember me? yeah, I remember you. You spoke there. And one example of this impact is actually, every time that I was speaking, I have someone was approaching me. His name is Chris, and he was telling me, Harry, would you like to meet the Queen? And I'm thinking, I would love, but is this really true? And then again, another time, Harry, do you want to meet the Queen? And I was thinking, is this really true or not? But anyway, giving the number. And because I was speaking on the stage, because I was speaking about the book, I think that because of that impact that brand created, actually gave me the opportunity to be invited to the 70th anniversary of the Commonwealth by the Queen. Actually, I have my seat. It was speakers and leaders, and it was there in Westminster Abbey, where more than 53 leaders for different nations attended the event. All the religious leaders for the Commonwealth and all the royal family was there, as well as people as scientists and people from the army as well, from the military, and as well as the education sector, which is something that the Queen is very very supportive. And in all this side of the education, there it was speakers and leaders seat reserved in a Queen amazing celebration. So that impact is that the brand that will open more and more opportunities for you to do things unbelievable, that you get invited to an event inside Westminster Abbey with limited seats, where all the royal family, all the ministers and prime minister from not only from UK but from different countries for the Commonwealth also were attended to that event.
Yes, and in terms of the actual social media image, it wasn't just the colors, and it wasn't just the luxury colors that we started to gradually implement in your social media, but literally we started a brand new social media accounts for all of your social media.
Yeah, we wipe out everything and we start from zero, from scratch.
Because basically what you had previously was building this image of you as a party boy, as, this guy that, is
I do like parties though, but when you are in business, that's the thing that you don't put in social media.
Yeah, so you were basically surrounded by these hundreds of girls, and, you had these party hats, and you looked basically like you were this country boy, and also because you used to have a restaurant, right? So you had a picture of your previous restaurant and, your big trays of food and everything. And what you wanted really was to get rebranded so that you can have a luxury image, so you can attract really the higher end clients, so you could really help clients that you liked, right? Clients that you liked, and clients that were willing to work with you, clients that were more willing to be coachable, and also clients that you that would be happy to pay higher end prices for what you were doing, right?
Exactly.
So what we literally did, we basically recreated all of your social media.
Out of the social media and started over again. And I had to say that it's working fantastic. The results have been fantastic because the social media start to grow. They start to grow big time. And not only grow, but if you go to my LinkedIn, if you go to my Facebook or my YouTube, you will see this brand consistent along all the platforms. And this is something very important if you are in business, if you sell products or services. Not only that, I've been invited to speak in more than 20 countries every year, as a keynote speaker, as a corporate trainer. And now, for example, our latest opportunity, we're going to be training also in social responsibility, right? And do corporate training about this topic, something new that just has opened for us, that will open the doors for corporate training for us. For me, particularly in a new environment, that that we had done some corporate trainings in Latin America, but also this enable us to do it here in UK.
What about
Europe?
What about for people that, for example, are speaking a different language and they're finding it really hard to write and publish a book because maybe they just can't they can't explain properly in English exactly what they want to say, and they need help, right? Or people that want to be speaking worldwide, they want to grow their business, they want to have better and bigger partners for their business, joint venture partners, and they want investment and things like that. What would you say to them as someone who still doesn't speak English perfectly? What would you say to them?
Like I always say, it's like at the end of the day, like I was stuck when I really wanted to write the book, and I was stuck because I know that my English was not good, and this was stopping me for more than 2 years, right? And I think that the secret is find the right people, and make sure what do you want to do also with the book. My purpose with the book, back then, I remember it was to build a global brand. Is to get more visibility, make me more visible. I was not interested in more in the sales book part. I was more interested in how can I be visible, how I can increase my visibility, because I knew that if I increase my visibility and I improve my brand, I will have opportunities that I never had before. And this is where we are right now. We are now helping startups, tech startups, to raise millions and millions of pounds in funding. And we also have positions in some of these startups. We have shares. We are advising several companies worldwide. Our last event, it was in the South African High Commissioner, who's gonna thought that we speakers at least would organize an event inside one of the biggest high commissioners in London, and it was an art exhibition. So the opportunities that have come for me as a result of having this book, climbing speakers and leaders, and climbing Big Ben has been enormous. I think that it was the best decision that I had took in my life. And also I have been invited to speak online to our universities with more than 100,000 students. And also we have delivered at Speakers and Leaders plenty talks already in universities in Peru and Mexico, several of them, and several times a year. So there is only the trainings and that we're doing is not only for corporate, not only for the banks, not only for hotels. We have trained also hotels in South America as well, but also universities. And this is one more result that we have achieved as a result of writing the book.
Very good. And what happened, for example, in Peru when the pandemic started? How many people were due to that we were due to speak in front of? Do you remember?
Yeah. I remember when we were just right when the pandemic hit. We were there in Peru, and we were doing a speaking tour where I think we have like 2 stadiums, right?
We had five gigs where we had 2 stadiums of 3,000 people.
2 stadiums of 3,000 people planned for us to speak, and more than 5 big gigs and also smaller one. So that's what was on a stop for us, especially for speakers and leaders when we were in Peru. Then we had also planned in Singapore. Our entrepreneurs are leaders with Coach Carter from the movie Coach Carter. We also have planned our entrepreneurs are leaders in Ireland. So a lot of things were planned just when this pandemic hit. But I'm also grateful as well because we took speakers and leaders also online, and this pandemic enabled us to create the speakers and leaders club, and the speakers alliance membership programs where people were joining online, and they were getting trained. Again, in the principles based in this book. And we did this training for the Peruvian people, from the people in Peru. We did it for people. It were people from US, it were people from United Kingdom attending these Zooms. And yes, this membership club, right? Then it has a member fee that the participant has to contribute, and and we managed to even achieve 297 per month, which is something that if you had a group of 20 people, 30 people, I think would be a significant stream of income that you can actually make a living from home just by training in Zoom. And that also was possible for me to create this members club, where we have our previous clients that our previous speakers that they will join us in order to retrain as well, plus the new people that we train.
Okay, and basically, we haven't really said, but basically, Speakers Are Leaders was published through the Brand for Speakers program with myself, right? So it was published by me. And now the question, and the question is, what did you like about publishing with Brand for Speakers? What did you like about publishing with my help, as opposed to having a traditional publisher, for example, right? Because, for example, a lot of traditional publishers force you to purchase a really large number of books, right, in advance, and then, or you have to purchase really large orders of books, and then you have to shift them, keep them in your garage, keep them under your bed, or keep them wherever, right? And many of them, if you want to reorder, they may ask you to purchase again, like 500, 1,000, 3,000, whatever number, and then you have to keep them in your garage and then shift them, right? So, and in terms of the length of time that it takes actually to publish, you know, was it short, was it long, how long it took to do it? And in terms of the speed of, for example, let's say you need to have a certain number of books, how quickly can you have it? How many do you need to order? You know, so tell us about the process. Like, how was it, different compared to a traditional publisher, for example?
I think that the main difference, the main difference is like when you go to do a book with a traditional publisher, you're going to do a book to sell books, right? And doing the book with Brand for Speakers, you're doing a book with the brand strategy, with the branding specialist, and just without the book, with any company, that to get close to the branding advice and knowledge that you have, that you put in in the business, in the person of people working with you, minimum here in London is between 60,000 to 250,000. How much companies pay to branding specialists like you to get clarity in that message, to the clarity in that colors, to the clarity in this message, and how I always said, you know, the brand, the face maybe could be your logo or your tagline, but then the copyright in the copy is your body. So how the story is gonna go through in a way that you convey the brand, and also you create this brand identity. And I think that what you did with my book and with all the books, that you create that hybrid between the stories, my stories, and actually the content that have to be in the book in order to people. My objectives was one: I want people to read the book, and after they're finished to write the book, they want to read the book. They had to call me and tell me, Harry, I want to work with you. That's my objective. My objective is to do coaching to the people that read the book. My objective is to become business partners of people that read the book and go to my programs. My objective is to work hand to hand with the people that read my book. And for that, you have to build that brand. So the process was really easy. Actually, this book was really fast to make. It was done in less than a month, right? So this one took less than a month to really get it together and
to write and publish.
And like I said, minimum only in sales for the Speakers and Leaders Workshop only we have closed more than £100,000 only selling worldwide the tickets for the workshop. We have all this stream of incomes. Like, for example, we have been invited to speak as a keynote speaker worldwide to different countries. We have been delivering trainings in South America to hotels and to banks as well. So we have done all the things that we have created an award ceremony based in this book. We have Speakers and Leaders Award ceremony, and we're doing the second edition right now, and it's going successfully well. So this is an extra stream of income that I never thought that Speakers and Leaders is going to be, or is in the way to be one of the leading award events here in UK. And this all has been fantastic. So the process, like I said, is not the same to work with a book publisher than with a brand specialist. The book publisher will make sure that you sell more books. The branding specialist will make sure that you actually make money, that you actually have a business attached to that brand, that you can leverage multiple streams of income. And this is the biggest benefit to working with you, with the traditional publisher. Of course, with Brand for Speakers, you only order the books that you need, and this is very good, because otherwise you need a garage with 3,500 books. This is my first book was like that, right? And I still have thousands of them around. And also, what do you the other thing that I had to talk about Brand for Speakers is that the process is easy. The process is fast, and is very very fulfilling, because at the end of the day, also Brand for Speakers organize events, and the authors go there and they have the opportunity to speak on a stage. I have the opportunity to speak on the stage about my book at the events that this organization organize. And I don't think that any book publisher do events not that often to promote the authors the way you do.
Okay, very good. And what about the speed to market? Would you say there's a clear and distinct advantage to have your book come out really quickly, as opposed to maybe like waiting 2 years, 5 years, whatever amount of time to have your book published? Is there a definite
advantage? It's a huge advantage
in publishing with Brand for Speakers, as opposed to a traditional publisher that maybe will publish your book in 2 to 5 years, and then what happens by then your content is perhaps even outdated?
Obsolete, right? Exactly, obsolete. And you don't know how many opportunities you're leaving on the table just by not publishing the book, by not having it ready. So for me, like I said, for me it was important that the book was out there, that the book because without that book we cannot create the other products related with the book. And the money, honestly, and the success is not in the book, is in the, I think that we have 20 different products allocated based on that book. And we created more than 20 brands, like a Speakers and Leaders Club, a Speakers and Leaders Award, a Speakers and Leaders Motivation. So we create different brands, Speakers and Leaders Business Coaching, Speakers and Leaders Art and Sport. So we have created maybe 20 sub-brands from the Speakers and Leaders. And all that was possible because the book was out really quickly, so we can actually see what direction the business goes.
What about actually creating a luxury personal brand? How did that impact you in terms of now creating this new business that is on the way to getting started, and as a startup, this business that you have where you're connecting, where we're working together to connect investors with opportunities to invest? And how did being basically a luxury influencer, how did having basically a book and being branded as a luxury public speaking coach. How did that help you to attract these kind of opportunities for people to invest and investors to you, and all of these amazing connections that you've built around the world in the last few years?
Without a doubt, without a doubt, if you have a high profile and you have a high brand, you attract high caliber people. Actually, people want to work with people on the same on the same dimension. So building that brand, building that luxury brand, it brings other high caliber people. Could be politicians, could be business leaders, could be that want to be part of your circle, that want to be part of your network, that want to be part of your environment. Yesterday we have in our home, it was visiting us Chris, which is a professor, used to be a professor for Harvard and Oxford University, sorry, and Cambridge. And it's amazing how huge personalities come and visit me and visit us and stay with us. And all that is because what we represent. All that is because Speakers Elite has a luxury brand, and that luxury brand attract high caliber influencers, high caliber politicians, high caliber business owners, and that network open more doors to create more large scale businesses.
Right. So this luxury brand has helped you recently to start a new joint venture business, right? With a few influencers and investors that are helping you and myself to do different businesses related to helping startups get funding, right?
Exactly.
And not only startups get funding, but also businesses that are already established to grow to the next level, right? So how did basically being a luxury influencer help you do that? And would you say speaking worldwide, speaking on stages worldwide, did that help at all?
Definitely.
And speaking online and growing a luxury brand online, did that help with that at all?
Yeah, speaking online, sometimes we have events that we reach 250,000 people online, even 500,000 people online, and also speaking worldwide in different events. Obviously, has enabled this positioning of luxury influencer, because when people go to my website, Harry Sardinas, you can see all the hundreds of pictures and videos of me delivering conferences based in the teachings from these books, Speakers Are Leaders. And also, not even that, I got invited to be in as an actor, as a small role in the movie Fear of Invisible Man, that actually is gonna be launching the BAFTA soon. I think it's gonna be in this month of February.
It was postponed for, I think, April or May.
Okay, has been postponed, the BAFTA, but anyway, it's gonna be the movie will be launched, and then I have a proposition now to be in another movie. And I never thought I'm gonna be named actor, and this movie is gonna be Netflix, gonna be everywhere, and all that is because that profile, or that is because of that luxury brand that opened more doors and doors for me, and these doors has opened more and more opportunities. And actually now with the same film producer that is helping us to is that give me the role as an actor, named Monica, film producer. Then our project, one of the startups that we're working, which is based with 3D, one of the animation movies that she's producing, it will use the tool. So actually you keep connecting people from your network, and then you keep building together, and the opportunities are unlimited when you have a high profile, when you have a good product, when you have a good brand. And the good thing about that is the training and personal development industry is an industry that create and do transformation for people, and allow people to see the world in a better place, allow the people to give a second chance to themselves, and to go for what they really want to do in life. And I think this book has helped millions of people around the world to speak more efficiently, to attract more business, to overcome the fear of the public speaking. I always say that the fear of public speaking is everywhere. It's not fear of public speaking. It's showing up in your bank account, it's showing out in your relationship, it's showing out in your relationship with your children. That fear is stopping you in your life to achieve whatever you want to achieve. And one is gone, then hey, we have somebody else from Russia, from YouTube. Thank you and welcome.
So what about having a keynote influencer website, basically having an influencer website? Is that worth it at all in order to help you to build that luxury brand? And if yes, what are some important elements that a luxury influencer should consider having? Basically, people that have an ordinary brand right now and they want to be seen as a luxury influencer. So is it worth it to have a luxury influencer website, and what elements should there be on it?
Definitely. And this is Lily, an amazing work that you have done with my website, sardinas.com, and Speakers and Leaders, because these websites, they were obsolete, and the team of Brand for Speakers actually revamped these websites in a new way with their luxury influencers website. Since then, every time that we meet people, we send them this website, and we had this wow effect. I think that you are the expert and the specialist in the subject, what elements the website need to have. But I know that some elements that you included there, like pictures of video of me speaking worldwide, or also the pictures that you put with all the celebrities, the media. Now lately you added a new feature about to do press release live in the website with the software. So every single element that was added to the new website changed the whole dynamic, how people perceive you, right? And my previous website, I have to say, that was amazing, but this one is outstanding. It's out of the blue. It's really a luxury piece of art that when people visit that website, they got the feeling that
they want to work with you,
exactly.
right? So they want to work with you. And this is the intention of doing the book in the very first place, right? It's about how do you create this book that enables you to go from looking like a secondhand Volkswagen to looking like a Rolls Royce, so that you can attract Rolls Royce type opportunities. And the last question is, do you think that it's worth it to invest in a Brand for Speakers program for book publishing? And if yes, why is it worth it to invest in that? What's the biggest thing that you believe you got out of becoming an author with Brand for Speakers book publishing? And why would you recommend it to other people?
I think that the biggest thing that I got out of the Brand for Speakers program is actually define my message and define my brand. I think that the people are not aware. I have businesses before, I have rebranding businesses before, and when you get it wrong, the amount of money that it costs to get your brand and your message right and rebranding is extremely more expensive than actually branding, because you have to repair all the impact. And I think that that my biggest outcome out of publishing with Brand for Speakers is that I have like an insurance policy that this brand, these colors, this message, the pros and services that with the strategy that the book was written, it was written in a way that we have the systems, and out of this system we can create more pros and more services and more workshops and more one-to-one and more membership sites and more. Even the art exhibition was Speakers and Leaders there in a way. So we keep leveraging and leveraging and leveraging the book. And I think that it was not be possible if the right brand and if the right message was not there in the first place. So the biggest, and I think that I 100% all your authors, we concur with that, that the message at the personal brand that people, that the authors of these programs get, is put them straight away in a Rolls Royce position. And once they have the brand, this is the best vehicle, and they can go as far as they want, right? I drove really fast. I always say this type of book, when you are this book giving you credentials for you to have the personal brand and to have your business in the personal development industry, you have the vehicle already there. And then how successful you will be is depend how fast you want to drive. And so also the techniques and the advice, Lily, about writing the book, to create the feeling that when people read the book, they actually finish and they want to buy your product or service. I don't think that with any traditional publisher, people will go and they're going to have the feeling. The people will go and buy the book, maybe, and buy one more book. But here, they want to do business with you. And it's not the same amount of money that you make like buying a book, like someone close your book and go and call you and want to do business with you, especially high profile people that have high opportunity. And this is what happened to me. So I'm extremely grateful about working with Brand for Speaking, about working with the strategies, about having a branding specialist that not only is telling me what title the book needs to have, what subtitle, how strategically this chapter has to be written, or how the system has to be in order to work and you can leverage multiple streams of income, but also how I dress, how you move, how your social media, how your visual identity. And after this was done, obviously, I have invited to speak worldwide in more than 20 countries. I have podcast interviews and TV requests. Always I deliver my corporate trainings, and my trainings online are being invited to organize events even in the South African High Commission. Of our followers in Facebook reached to 250,000, and also in YouTube now it's close to 3,000, and in LinkedIn over 12,000, give it or take. So the whole perceived value of the Harry Sardinas and speakers and leaders has gone to a completely new level. And I think that more than a book, you create for people powerful brands, that powerful brand turn into a Rolls Royce, and that Rolls Royce brings to you more opportunities, and you can leverage all these opportunities and make a very good different ways of stream of income.
Yeah, so what's really interesting to note is that, for example, a lot of people come to me and maybe they ask, okay, how much is it and so on, right? When they want to invest in creating a book and publishing a book. And what's important to note is that when you're comparing, let's say, me and Brand for Speakers with other book publishers, you're not really comparing apples with apples. The reason for that is because you are getting, in a way, a person who is going to look at your business and say, okay, maybe you can also add this to what you're offering already, and the other, and the other. I'll give you an example. So, for example, now you have you have Speakers That Leaders, you have Speakers That Leaders, the book, you have Speakers That Leaders, the workshop, the preview, Speakers That Leaders University, where Harry has this place where you can get a lot of different courses. So he has created a platform where you can place your course. He has many different courses there as well. You have a Speakers That Leaders Club, which is an online training program where you can discover how to speak confidently and charismatically. He has the one-to-one coaching. He has the Done For You events program, where entrepreneurs and professionals that want to elevate the brand of their business can have an event organized by Harry and myself. Then, for example, if you want different products, you can have merchandise. I have already started to create merchandise for Harry and for myself.
All with the brand, yeah.
So t-shirts, caps, and all the different types of products that can be monetized based on the messages inside the book. This is already on the way. Then
we have a Speakers and Leaders Award as well.
We have Speakers and Leaders Awards where we invite some of the most exciting, extraordinary people in the world that are doing great things for humanity. And at the same time, we are creating an inner circle of people that are influencers, that have gone from being ordinary entrepreneurs to luxury influencers. And through that, just having access to the inner circle, it's a very valuable thing being part of the inner circle, because you never know who we can connect you with. And through that, we have managed to attract an investor that has access to 19,000 investors and 16,000 influencers. And we are collaborating with him to grow startups and to help startups to get access to funding, right?
And we also have a sister brand, Entrepreneurs and Leaders, where people of the caliber, speakers of the caliber of Mary Diamond from the movie The Secret attended to the event as speakers. And Eric Ho, that now how many subscribers?
I think he has 1.4 million subscribers, and he spoke at our event. We also had a billionaire speak at our event. So
we have also created sister brands and creating events for other people. And we also have Lily have been also branding full events. At the moment, you're branding one event for the Latin American Chamber of Commerce, and the full brand also for
it's called Latin American Congress for entrepreneurs, business owners, and
I believe
investors.
I believe you did the brand also for the event Exponential Growth Strategy.
Yeah, Exponential Business Growth. We had a billionaire speak at our event, and we had other events where we had other speakers as well that you can see here. And also you were featured, we were featured together on the cover of Business Fit magazine. And aside from that, what's happening is that people that are leaders, business leaders and political leaders even, they come to us, right? They come to us, they come to you, and they want to collaborate in some way. They want to help you to help more people to expand that business that they have, or to overcome the fear of speaking. And not only that, I'm in the process of creating a lot of products for you related to Speakers and Leaders.
Yeah, that's the other thing. We're doing an e-commerce at the moment. As we speak, we're doing an e-commerce site where we're going to have how many products?
Well, for example, from my site, I already have 1,000 something products that are...
Lily has around 1,000 products, and these products also will be created with the Speakers and Leaders brand, around 1,000, right?
Yes, more than 1,000. And then you can have, for example, card games and different art, different merchandise that can be leveraged based on the content in the book. So, and the other
and you
thing,
can leverage the brand as a merchandise. So we're gonna have a cup with the Speakers and Leaders, a mug, a pen, a backpack, and thousands of products where people can pick and choose. And that also, you raise your brand awareness, because people buy a cup with your brand and they wear it all the time. Then you getting brand awareness all over the place. So this is something that is Lily's creating right now.
And one of the most important things is also through that you're making a big difference around the world.
Definitely,
and you
helping
have helped
people,
thousands of people to overcome the fear of speaking, which is something that's very easy for you and really hard for a lot of people, right? And through that,
it's the biggest fear that a human being can have.
Yeah, and through that, you're making a big difference. And I think that a lot of businesses and a lot of business owners are intending to have their message and their story and their techniques, their strategies reach more people. And you have managed to do that through the power of a book, through the power of becoming a luxury influencer. Now, another thing that's often overlooked is how you come across in all social media, including, for example, your picture in WhatsApp, right? Your image in LinkedIn.
Yeah.
A lot of you that are watching perhaps in LinkedIn, you may have amazing expertise, but you haven't really bothered to look at how you look in LinkedIn, and maybe you need a LinkedIn profile write-up. You need to improve that because you've done a lot of different things, but you may come across as someone who's looking for a job, and you may not want that. What you may want instead is to come across as someone who is looking for clients or is offering different things. And if you're writing that in a good way, then you can attract a lot more of the kind of clients that are really looking for you, and those people could come to you as opposed to you chasing those kind of people. And let's say, even if you were to reach out to some people on LinkedIn, when you have an amazing brand, when you look really great, then the likelihood of those people answering and doing business with you is much greater than if you have a really lame profile and you look like you're looking for a job, or you're looking basically like not the kind of person you really want to come across as. You want to be looking your best possible. You want to have your best possible image. And this is what I usually look at. Like, how do you look in WhatsApp? How do you look in Facebook? How do you look in LinkedIn? How do you look in all the different media, so that you look the best possible to attract the most business from what you're doing? And Harry can help you with your public speaking and coaching, right? So to summarize, publishing a book with Brand for Speakers Publishing can help you to elevate your brand, can help you to be seen as a luxury influencer. Maybe not immediately. We are doing gradual steps so that you can have it done. And within 90 days, you can already be published, and you can already have your social media strategy. So for those of you that maybe you're doing great things in business and you don't have time to publish on your social media, we can help you with that. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. This is the very first LinkedIn Live broadcast. So I'm very excited that Harry pushed me to actually do it, so that we can get our message to more of you. So have a really good night. Thank you, Harry, for
pleasure. It's gonna be my Facebook, also it's gonna be my YouTube channel as well. The interview for you to watch. So thank you so much, Lily. And I'm very proud of you, very proud of the work that you're doing for people, and the difference that you make for my life, and for the difference that you're making for the life of all your authors. And that's thanks to this immense talent that you have to see what is the gold, and what is when you get a diamond and it's raw, how to polish it and how to make people shine, regardless that they're bald, fat, black, white, Chinese. And this is something that is I'm very grateful to be that you've done this book and create this brand and visual identity for me. So thank you very much.
And my only message for you is, it's your time now to get published.